Hi there, I am Tanya Vindiger. Is there anyone else out there who is really struggling with medical examinations? I have complex PTSD, and there's so many issues for me when it comes to medical examination. It starts the closeness, having someone really physically close examining you, and especially if one of your abusive situation actually involves the medical practitioners. It's just so difficult. There's the anxiety also about the diagnosis. Is this gonna be something that's gonna take away my independency? No, that's massive for me. I have to be independent and in control of everything about me. So that fear, that constant fear, because I just had these episodes of vertigo, and I actually needed two people, one either side, to actually hold me up. I couldn't stand up. It was impossible. I couldn't believe that I couldn't stand up. Well, this episode only lasted for 3 hours, or two hours really. There was a fear there. It's like, oh my gosh, if that lasts longer, I will need help to go to the toilet, have showers and things like that. So that's just impossible for me to think through at the moment. So, but there's all these other triggers, like when you go for an MRI or X-rays and things, you have to take your clothes off, to have those examinations, put on those gowns and things like that. And then there's that fear when your abuser told you that if anyone ever finds out what's going on in your brain, that they're going to lock you up in a psych ward forever and drug you and things like that. All these things they told you. And then all of a sudden you have to have this appointment and get an MRI scan of your brain. It's like, that anxiety, it just doesn't just go to here, it explodes, There's panic attacks and things are hard to manage. But for me, they were really hard to manage, and they still are. I am better so now. With all these struggles, I finally found that I have just before I have a full-blown panic attack, my anxiety always starts down low my abdominal area. There's this little smidget of this fluffy feeling. I'm not good at explaining feelings at all, but I know the sensation that I get in my abdominal area, and then that kind of rises up, and I'm really tuned into this now. I never even knew I had this, but I'm so tuned in, and I know now the minute that came up, it's like, I could talk myself down days, because I was working myself up over that MRI days leading up to it. Sorry. I can laugh now because it's over, it's happened, and I made it. But it was really tough, and the constant that fear came up, and I had to remind myself, it's not happening right now. You're at home, you're safe, and besides, I actually work in a medical industry. I work in for starters, I'm a researcher. I do a PhD project, but I also work in a pathology lab. And I know all these people there, they're passionate about helping other people, and just putting that into perspective and reminding myself, it's actually, yes, I have to put my head into this tiny little tunnel, and it's noisy as hell. It was so noisy. I couldn't believe it. But how cool is it actually that these days that we have a machine that can actually make images of our brain, and just putting my scientific head on, trying to spin the whole thing around from me getting too worked up. And while it was still really difficult, I did actually have some medication to help myself calm down. I was really lucky. My appointment was actually at lunchtime, and they called me in the morning if I could come in right away. So that was kind of a blessing because that took away all these extra hours I would have had to work myself up. So I rushed there and I took my medication. But they always ask you for your name and date of birth, and it's just so embarrassing when your anxiety comes up. And that instant is like, what's my name? And that pause, and you see that expression of the other person, the way they look at you. But it's just all this anxiety. It just cuts off your prefrontal cortex. You can't do rational thinking, And it is just PTSD. They're actually just symptoms, and I know those their struggles, and I wasn't initially gonna do a video on it. I didn't really want to share with the world this experience because, in a way, it is quite embarrassing. I have done so much work on this, and it still gets me. But I was so lucky. I have a psychiatrist, I have a coach, there's one guy out there on the support line that has PTSD himself, and he's been a great support for me throughout this. And in the same, I thought I'd share it so in case you struggle with medical examinations, things like that, whether it's a dentist appointment, MRIs, whatever it is for you, no, you're not alone. It is your PTSD symptoms, but we can learn to manage it, and you have great inner strength, and you can get through. And like myself today, you can laugh about it the day after, and it's all good again. And so with that, I send you lots of love and rainbows as always to brighten up your tough times too. Okay, bye.